New Deep Dive.
Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive. Today we're plunging into a mystery that has, well, sent ripples across the entire crypto world. Picture this: July 4th, 2025. A Bitcoin wallet, completely dormant for 14 years since 2011. It just suddenly sprang to life. And what happened next was pretty monumental. We're talking 80,000 Bitcoins, valued at an eye-watering $8.6 billion, give or take, moved in what people are calling the largest movement of, decade-old coins in Bitcoin's history.
Quite something.
So the big question, the central question for our deep dive today is what exactly happened here? Who could possibly be behind such a, well, colossal transfer? And what are the fascinating theories swirling around this unprecedented awakening?
Right. And our mission today is really to meticulously unpack every detail we can from the sources you've provided. We'll dissect the potential implications, what this all could mean, and ultimately offer you, the listener, a clearer understanding of this mysterious multi-billion-dollar movement.
Okay, so let's drill down into the specifics. The actual event. To be precise, it was July 4th, 2025. This Bitcoin wallet, silent for over a decade, moves this absolutely massive 80,000 BTC. It's almost like, a hidden treasure chest opening after years.
And what's particularly striking is how methodical it was. The transfer itself. The funds weren't just dumped randomly.
What?
No, they were handled in 8 separate transactions, each one for exactly 10,000 BTC.
10,000 each, wow.
Yeah, roughly $1 billion per batch, which really suggests a very deliberate, very organized approach. Someone knew what they were doing.
And these specific coins, what makes them so historically significant is where they came from, right? Their origin.
Exactly.
Our analysis confirms they came from Coinbase transactions. Now, for those maybe less familiar, that's the technical term for the mining rewards that really early users got for validating blocks on the Bitcoin network. We're talking about truly ancient digital money here.
Absolutely. And this event, moving such a substantial amount of old, dormant coins, it actually sets a new record. Before this, the largest recorded movement of dormant coins was around, 3,700 BTC?
Right, much smaller.
Yeah, this just dwarfs that figure. Julio Moreno over at CryptoQuant noted this. It wasn't just a wallet stirring, it was like an entire vault creaking open.
Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting for you, the listener. The initial acquisition prices. It gives us this incredible window into just how far Bitcoin has actually come.
It really does. Our sources specify that 2 of these wallets, they initially got their Bitcoin back in April 2011, and the price then, a mere $1.78.
78 cents.
Yeah, less than $1.
Incredible.
And the other 6 wallets, they started accumulating in May 2011 when BTC was valued at around $3.37. Still incredibly low.
So just think about the scale here. For those earliest coins, the ones bought at 78 cents, this represents an astronomical return on investment, over 13 million%.
13 million.
Yeah. It just vividly illustrates the incredible foresight, or maybe luck, of those early adopters, picking up digital pennies, basically, that would one day turn into billions.
And if you connect this to the bigger picture, it highlights that this individual, whoever they are, they were mining Bitcoin when it was truly in its infancy, long before any industrial mining operations even existed.
Right.
This was probably a hobbyist, maybe a cypherpunk pioneer, someone just running a computer in their spare time, and effectively accumulating what's become, a modern fortune.
So with such a huge sum, this incredible ROI, this historic movement, the immediate pressing question for everyone, of course, is, who is this Bitcoin whale? The identity remains completely unknown, a total mystery.
That's the multi-billion-dollar question, isn't it? And while the identity is secret, what's fascinating is thinking about their potential financial status just based on this move. If this 80,000 BTC is their entire holding...
Which might not be the case.
Right, it might not be. But if it is, it would place them around 293rd on the Forbes Global Billionaires list. Net worth about $8.69 billion.
Still pretty high up there.
Oh, yeah. But if they still control their original estimated holding, which Coinbase director Connor Grogan suggested could be around 200,000 BTC, then that wealth would soar to around $22 billion.
Wow.
Potentially putting them 90th globally. Top-tier wealth that's just suddenly surfaced after years in the shadows.
And whenever you get a big anonymous whale move like this, the speculation just runs wild, especially in the on-chain analysis community.
Always does.
There's been some unconfirmed chatter, whispers that this wallet might belong to Roger Ver, a known Bitcoin influencer.
I've seen that mentioned.
But again, that's purely speculation at this point.
Yeah.
No confirmation.
Right. And while the name is a mystery, the sheer scale of this move, the age of the coins, it clearly tells us this is one of Bitcoin's earliest and most successful pioneers. Someone who was really there accumulating right at the very beginning.
Okay, so shifting gears a bit. How did the market react? Such a seismic event must have caused waves.
Oh, it definitely did.
The sudden movement of 80,000 BTC, it sent ripples across the crypto market pretty fast. Bitcoin's price dipped from highs around $110,000 down to $107,600 within 24 hours.
Yep. About a 2% drop, which might not sound huge, but in context.
It's noticeable, especially after such a long period of dormancy for these coins.
Exactly. And that initial drop, it directly reflects investor anxiety, nerves. When such a massive amount of Bitcoin moves after so long, it immediately sparks fears of, well, potential selling pressure.
Right. Everyone thinks, are they about to dump it?
Precisely. Is the owner about to liquidate and crash the price?
But crucially, there's a detail here that seemed to calm those fears, at least partially. The BTC was transferred to newly created addresses, not directly to exchanges.
Yes, that's a key point. Sending to an exchange usually signals an intent to sell, maybe very soon. Sending to new private addresses suggests something else, maybe storage, maybe reorganization, but not immediate selling.
So the reaction within the crypto community itself was pretty mixed then.
Definitely mixed. You had some traders acting defensively, closing their long positions.
Bets on the price going up.
Right, and increasing their shorts, betting on the price going down, especially around that $110,000 resistance level, playing it safe.
Yeah.
But then others saw it purely as an internal wallet reorganization, like nothing to see here, just moving funds around, which kind of aligns with the funds going to new addresses, not exchanges.
Right. So given all that context, the move itself, the market reaction, what are the main theories? What could be behind this monumental move? Let's maybe unpack the first one. Strategic reorganization or a security update.
Okay.
The methodical nature we talked about, those 8 batches, 10,000 BTC each, all synchronized.
Yeah, very precise.
It strongly suggests a deliberate, coordinated action, right, by someone who knows that wallet structure intimately.
It feels planned.
So that points towards maybe an internal restructuring, getting things organized, or perhaps enhancing security, moving to new addresses for safety.
That seems plausible. Very logical. Fits the pattern of the transfers.
Okay, but then, theory 2, and this is where the plot maybe thickens a bit. A potential security breach, a heist.
Right. This came up because of Connor Grogan at Coinbase again.
What did he observe?
He noticed something suspicious. A Bitcoin Cash, BCH transaction, a small one, about 14 hours before the main BTC movement.
Bitcoin Cash. Why is that significant?
Well, because Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash share a history, right? They forked.
Okay.
So often older wallets use the same private keys for both BTC and BCH, meaning if you can access one, you might be able to access the other.
Ah, I see. So the BCH transaction could have been.
A test, exactly. A small transaction to see if the keys worked, if they had access to the wallet, before attempting the massive Bitcoin transfers.
Oh, wow.
If that's true, if that's confirmed, it raises this chilling possibility that the private keys were somehow compromised. And if that's true, this wouldn't just be a big move. It could potentially be the largest cryptocurrency heist in history.
Goodness.
Yeah.
That's a very different scenario.
Completely different. High stakes.
Okay, and there's a third theory floating around too.
Yeah. Less dramatic, perhaps, but still possible. Market manipulation or strategic positioning.
How so?
Well, the timing. It happened on July 4th, a holiday in the U.S. Bitcoin was holding above $109,000. There were expectations maybe of a new price record coming soon.
Right.
So moving such a huge amount at that specific moment, it fueled speculation that maybe this whale was trying to deliberately manipulate the market, send a signal, shake things up.
Or maybe just positioning themselves for a big future play, getting their ducks in a row.
Exactly. Strategic positioning. It's less likely than the first two, maybe, given the details, but people are definitely talking about it.
So how do we weigh these? We have this very methodical transfer suggesting a planned reorganization.
Which points strongly to the owner being in control. Careful, deliberate.
But then we have Grogan's observation about that Bitcoin Cash transaction.
The potential test.
Which throws a huge spanner in the works, doesn't it? It really leans into this security breach, the heist theory.
It absolutely does. It's a crucial counterpoint. that methodical nature could also be a sophisticated attacker covering their tracks, right?
True.
So that observation keeps the heist theory very much alive. It's tantalizing and, frankly, a bit chilling. It means we have to consider both possibilities, careful owner or massive theft, very seriously.
So there you have it. I mean, what an incredible journey these Bitcoins have taken. From literally pennies
Pennies.
to billions. And now, this enduring mystery about their owner and what this move actually means. It's a story of incredible patience, foresight, and now significant intrigue.
And what's fascinating are these two compelling yet totally contradictory possibilities, right? Either this was a highly calculated strategic move by a very, very patient individual.
14 years patient.
Exactly. Or it was a monumental history-making security breach unfolding right before our eyes on the blockchain.
The implications of either scenario are just immense for the whole crypto world.
Absolutely huge.
So maybe a final thought to leave you, our listener, with. What might be the long-term implications of such a significant, now awakened amount of Bitcoin being held off exchange in these new wallets? What could this whale be planning next, assuming it is the original owner? Or, maybe more broadly, what does their incredible 14-year patience tell us about belief in the future of digital assets?
Yeah, what's the long game here?
Definitely something for you to mull on until our next deep dive.
Subscribe. New Deep Dive.